Lifelong learning is a term that has been recognized as an integral part of democracy. The very nature of the word suggests that lifelong learning does not only take place in adulthood, but throughout life, from birth to death. Lifelong learning is the ongoing, voluntary, and self-motivated pursuit of knowledge for either personal or professional reasons. Therefore, it not only enhances social inclusion, active citizenship, and personal development, but also self-sustainability. The term is seen as a transformation of experiences into knowledge, skills, and attitudes through a variety of manners. Lifelong learning views education in its totality. Historically, the term has been utilized for adult education and can be traced back to the 1960s and the radical intellectualism of the student movement. The demand was for new forms of education to promote diversity and individual freedom. It wasn't until the mid-1990s that the real breakthrough came with lifelong learning. There was a conceptual shift from lifelong education to lifelong learning. What was first believed and crafted for adult education could now be applied throughout your life. I've taken this opportunity to apply these aspects and qualities to primary and early childhood education. Let's face it, schools are very complex environments. The main objective for schools are to prepare the students for future responsibilities and success in life. Is this happening? What can we do? School's core responsibility is to cultivate in young people the habits of mind they are going to need to thrive in the world which we anticipate they will inhabit. Get them ready to pass on knowledge onto the new generation. Lifelong learning has become an international issue. The purpose for education is to prepare young people for the future. People all around the world are seeing the importance of learning at all stages of life. In response, some concrete policy developments have taken place in countries around the world. The term itself has created more questions than answers. The issue of space versus place is one of the primary topics of debate. Do we continue with the format we have been accustomed to? We need to redefine the meaning of learning in order to make it more compatible with the contemporary way of life of the individual. Change needs to happen for what is already in place. We need to attend to the cultural, social, and political circumstances. This change is happening so fast that people can only adapt if the information society becomes the lifelong learning society. There needs to be a shift, a normal shift. Who needs to shift? Schools and teachers. The school needs to shift from a pedagogical focus from the instructor to the learner. Schools now need to identify that learning is viewed as life-wide and a lifelong process. Teachers also need to shift. They need to change their ways of addressing the student. They need to see themselves not as a superior, but as an equal in the classroom. For instance, instead of saying, "How's your work coming on?" change it to, "How did you do that?" These will induce lifelong learning qualities. Remember, do not be afraid to experiment.
We must remember how children learn rather than how we teach. Through movement, through emotions, through activities, through projects, all the basics fit in. And they're learning without realizing they're learning. Learning is not painful. Learning should be joyful.
There are four major aspects of lifelong learning. These are cognition, metacognition, motivation, and affect. In these aspects, there are 8 qualities or traits one needs to demonstrate to take advantage of lifelong learning. They are curiosity, investigation, experimentation, imagination, reasoning, sociability, and reflection. New teachers have to understand the importance of these aspects and traits in order to foster and develop them. The teacher has to be a lifelong learner. They have to involve the student in designing, evaluating, repairing their education, and make the connections to and from life. Practice makes perfect. The more exposure you have to these qualities of lifelong learning, the more you will have time to perfect these skills. As educators, we need to get these aspects of lifelong learning into their DNA in order for them to survive, succeed, and be part of this century. A child's natural ability is to learn. We have to foster this and remember that each of them have a unique way of learning. Everyone is different. In the end, children just want to be part of the adult world. Understanding these skills and applying them to our everyday curriculum will result in something inevitable. These skills will become second nature and will instill intrinsic values that no one can take away. These individuals will become members of their communities and have a sense of hope and dignity. They will have a sense of responsibility for their own communities and lives, and a voice with social and political change. By instilling these values of lifelong learning as early as childhood education, the individual will learn to become self-autonomous and know how to use multiple resources in their reach. For now, by making small shifts in the way we speak to kids, the way we implement an idea, and understanding that there is a hidden curriculum, our future is promising. I leave you with this poem. A place of peace, a place of freedom, a place to get away, a place out of the space. This place belonged to me. This place belongs to us. Let's continue understanding why this place is in this space. Why aren't you everywhere? Why are you limited? The world would be a better place with more of you in it.